Welcome back, guys. It's Michael from Chess Lifestyle, and let's train some chess today. Today's a Friday, so we had our ECF podcast episode, which was a rundown on how to reach National Master from a logistics perspective. And yeah, if we want to get anywhere close, we better put some work in. So let's get into it, shall we? Let's just grind some Woodpecker. Yeah, probably this is gonna be dreadful, given that I'm actually quite hungry. But I knew that if I eat, then I'm just gonna be too lazy to stream until like probably 2 a.m. and then I'll just stay up late, and I have to work early tomorrow, so it's just pointless. So let's just get the work done, eat some good food, and have an early night. That's the plan. So yeah, let's solve some exercises. Welcome Arab to the stream. Let's train. Okay. So we've got Kasparov against Karpov. Pretty stable position, just a slight change in pawn structure. We have the same color bishop. We've got queen, queen, rook, 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 knight, bishop, knight, bishop. Of course, we're changing the order in which we count again, as always. What else is there to note? So we've got some X-ray pressure here, we've got some X-ray pressure there. X-ray pressure on the rooks, they've got some X-ray pressure back at us. These are doubled, so there's even more pressure. Bishop pressure, bishop pressure. And pressure on this pawn. Pressure on this pawn. So yeah, X-ray on the pawn, pressure on this pawn. Pressure on the knight. Pressure on the rook. No back rank because of the window, but there is a light square bishop. Also no back rank due to h2. Fine, so any loose pieces as well? Yes, loose queen. Fine, so what checks, what captures, what threats? So okay, if we start with our checks, we've got queen g7, we've got bishop f7. We've got rook e8 as well. And he captures, capture, 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 capture. And what about threats in this position? I mean, this potentially disrupts the defense, but probably horrendous. Same with rook e6 maybe. Actually, how ridiculous is rook e6? Just very tempted. Like, if pawn takes, can I just do this? Rook e6 is such a joke if it works. So okay, actually, I mean, let's just calculate this a bit more. Rook e6. If the queen goes and does something, do we actually have a threat? Well, kinda. We can take on h6. There's a rook e6, pawn e6, bishop takes e6 with check. Looks very strong. Rook e6. Rook e6, what if queen takes though? Because if bishop takes, then they can go rook takes d1. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the problem. I guess actually, if they take with the queen, I can take with the queen. And then when they take back, then I take with the bishop. But actually, does that even work? Because if I take with the bishop, they can block rook f7. And if I take, then I'm a piece down at the end. So I don't know. Maybe rook e6 is not correct. Let's start with our checks then. So if we take this with check, I think they can take both ways. Seems alright. Especially given e5 is covered by the knight. Queen g7 can't be good. Rook e8, rook takes e8. Well, rook e8, rook takes e8 versus queen takes d7. That's actually a fork, no? So rook e8, rook takes e8, queen takes d7, maybe rook e7? What happens there? I feel like the queen just retreats and we've just had a weird rook trade. Which is not bad given how strong these rooks were, so it's not so bad. I mean, rook e8, maybe they don't have to take. Maybe they can play king here as well. So okay, let's leave that one for now. What about the captures? If we throw in bishop c6, I guess they just take on d1. Yeah, I don't like that. What about queen takes d7? If rook takes d7, we've got rook e8, king h7. Nothing. Check, one check, and then g6. And then we've got our threats. I mean, rook e7, I didn't really see the point of it. Just rook takes. But rook e6 or rook e8? These are our most promising ideas, I guess. Rook e6, if they take, then we can take. But we had a problem with queen takes, actually, weirdly enough. Yeah, because if queen takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, king f8. Wait. Queen takes? Queen takes. Pawn takes, bishop takes. Oh, it was rook f7. That was the resource that saved the day. Do we really have nothing there? Maybe if we play knight e5 at that moment. Surely we don't have time. They're threatening our rook. So rook e6, queen takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, rook f7. Because we have to go for this. Knight takes. Oh, are we not? Did I miscount? Hold on. Equal material right now. Rook e6, queen takes rook. So they're rook up. We take the queen. We've got queen for rook. No, calculate properly. Rook e6, queen takes. They're up a rook. Queen takes queen. We're up a queen. They then take our queen, so they're up a rook. We then take their pawn, so we have a pawn for the rook. They then block. I then take their rook, so I have a rook and pawn for the rook. They then take my rook, so then it's back to being a pawn for the rook. I then take their rook, so I have a rook and pawn for the rook. They then take my bishop, so then... Oh, why is that so hard? Why is that? It's so hard to say out loud. Let me just calculate it in my head. Jesus Christ. I was genuinely tripping up on my words. It's actually ridiculous. Let me just calculate that. And now it's so hard to calculate in my head because I've been speaking out loud for the whole position. It's crazy. No, I'm definitely a piece down. Like, I've got a single knight left and they've got knight and bishop. No, so rook e6 just doesn't work. I think it just doesn't work. So I guess rook e8 is the only try then. Because we are under some pressure here, right? And there's also pressure here. So I guess rook e8 is the best bet. Rook e8, rook takes, queen takes, and then if rook e7, we just run away and so be it. I mean, I don't see anything better, unfortunately. Like, really, bishop f7 cannot be working. Did you guys find this? Instinct says rook e8, that's what I said. And then Arif came to the same answer as me about this rook e7. Might be rook e6. Didn't like it. I suppose you win the two rooks with queen takes d7. Damn, okay. Nice job, Arif. And also, Azura said queen takes d7. Okay, let me see how this makes sense. Ah, rook e8, king h7, just bishop e4, and you pick up the second rook. But how convincing is this position? Like, they've still got a queen, it's not completely convincing to me. Rook e8, king h7, bishop e4, g6, rook takes d7. I'm not completely completely convinced. But maybe the point is we're going to have a lot of pressure on the back rank somehow, but we can't play rook d8 because there's a knight here. I don't get this, actually. Queen d7, rook d7, rook e8, king h7, bishop e4, g6, rook takes d7. Like, what if they just play bishop a6 or something? Why is this such a big deal? Maybe it's rook f8? Maybe rook f8 is very nice. But then again, they can play bishop c4 and protect f7. Yeah, I don't see it. I mean, we had that conversation in chat the other day, I think. Was it Faz who said that he prefers the rooks over the queen, like, 90% of the time. Or maybe that was Frizz. I don't remember. Someone said 90% of the time they choose the 2 rooks over the queen, which I disagreed with. Really not clear, that final position. I mean, what other idea could there be, though? Yeah, I don't see any other idea, so let's see why it's so good. White picks up a lot of material for the queen. I hate Axel Smith. What is this? What is this? You've just picked up a queen for 2 rooks. Where's a lot of material coming from? I'm not tripping, right? What the hell is this? So lazy. So lazy. Oh yeah, because it's +5, so we can stop calculating here. Bishop a6. Ah shit, bishop c6 and then f7 hangs. I mean, first of all, I think I forgot about the bishop in some of his lines, but even after I saw the bishop, like, I didn't consider this forcing move. I just considered rook f8 and then there's bishop here. I mean, Axel Smith needs to give this line. I mean, otherwise it's not clear. But yeah, I mean now it's on the board. It's quite obvious, right? But it's interesting that both Azura, and Arav didn't continue the calculation after rook takes d7. Ah, and then Arav has clarified you can capture the knight as the queen is to guard f7. Very nice. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I missed. Oh, it's so hard to get better. It's so hard to get better. Okay, let's do another. Let's do another. Yeah, good job, chat. Let's go again. So we've got queen, rook, knight, 1, 2, 3, 4 against queen, rook, knight, bishop, 1, 2, 3. So you got bishop for pawn. What checks, what captures, what threats? No, why are we looking at check, captures, threats before evaluating the position? So what X-rays do we have? We've got some X-rays here. I wonder if it actually makes sense to do loose pieces, X-rays, and tension. What order does it make most sense? Probably the tension first, like the pressure, and then X-rays, and then loose pieces. So let's try this, okay? Let's try this. So there's pressure on f7, pressure on g6. Both with our queen, rook, and then our knight as well. Okay, what about X-rays? We've got X-rays this way, X-rays that way, X-rays this way. Maybe X-rays onto this g8 square. Also, there's potential for a fork, because if we actually bother to look at our loose pieces next, we will notice loose piece, loose piece. So then maybe queen a4 is strong. Okay, fine. Also, it's worth noting this is a passer. This is also a passer. Maybe d6 is in the air. Okay, so What checks do we have? We've got one check, we've got two checks, but probably both bad. What captures do we have? We've got rook g6, which could be very interesting. Knight takes or queen takes, less interesting. What threats do we have? We've got this queen a4, we've also got d6. I also wonder if we've got a move like queen f5 because they can't take due to mate. Not that it looks like it does too much. So okay, let's begin with our checks. Queen f7, just queen takes. Knight takes, king takes, nothing. Queen b8, literally nothing. So what about rook takes g6? Now we look at our captures. They do not have a check, which is promising. They could play a move like queen here to pin the queen so that we can't play queen f7. But then I can just trade and then I can take this bishop. So then I've won a bishop and a pawn, so then I'm a pawn up. Did I even get that right? I probably didn't get that right. 2 pawns up somehow. So what's the starting material count? Did I count wrong? No, we've got an extra pawn for the bishop. Yeah, I just can't do basic addition. So rook g6. If queen e5, queen takes, knight takes, rook takes a6. They push d2. Not completely clear. I mean, maybe I've just got rook a1, rook d3, rook d1, and I've got an extra knight, so... maybe it's fine, even if they win my d-pawn. I'm looking at rook g6, queen e5, queen takes e5, knight takes e5, rook takes a6, pawn d2, rook a1, rook d3, rook d1, rook takes d5. I'm trying to evaluate that. Should be winning for me, should be winning. So okay, rook takes g6, what else can they try? I'm threatening the bishop and threatening g8. I also wanted to quickly check this. Why is this no good? Maybe they just play rook b6 or something. Or they've got rook a3 even. So yeah, it's looking less good. So rook takes g6 should just be it. Rook g6, they don't have time to push because I've got mate. Rook g6, they can try run. But then I've won a pawn at the least and I'm taking this bishop. They also can't push when my queen is on this line. Yeah, this looks very good. I think we can play it. What about attacks on my queen? Let's say rook g6 and they attack. Well, then I just mate, right? There's really nothing here. They have to try this, and we've at least seen something that looks good. Just trading and then taking the bishop. Why did I think I'm a knight up? They still have a knight. Oh, I'm so bad at this game. They just take back with a knight, and then yeah, they're not. I don't know what I was calculating. Why did I think I was a knight up? So rook takes g6, queen e5, queen takes knight takes, rook takes bishop. d2, rook a1, rook d3, rook d1, rook takes d5. It's actually just 3 pawns against 2. And they have a strong d2 pawn. Really not as clear. I also realized I tunnel vision this super hard, so now I have no backups in case I saw something was bad. Knight takes f7 is interesting as well, because actually if queen takes, maybe I can give check and pick up the bishop. But then he can have ideas of d2 again, and it doesn't matter that the rook hangs because they're gonna queen. Like, so messy. So messy. Wait, but knight... oh no, I was gonna say like maybe the rook can pin the queen to the king, but the problem is after knight f7, queen takes, queen d6, they can move. Rook g6, queen e5. Do I really have nothing here? What about rook g8, king e7, and knight f5? That forces king here. And is there like a cute follow-up? Not really. Ay, 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 ay. I guess d6 is interesting as well. What happens after d6? D6 looks super strong. D6... They need to keep tabs on f7, otherwise I give mate. I don't even know if I saw this before. Queen e6. Maybe queen e6 is just fine. Because now we don't even have rook g6. Rook g6, queen e5, queen takes, knight takes. Rook takes a6. There's at least something. It's just not convincing at all. Knight f7, queen f7, queen d6, king g7. Queen takes a6, d2. I mean, that's also a pawn-up variation. I think both are pawn-up, right? Rook g6, queen e5, queen takes, knight takes, rook takes, bishop. But somehow they have a pass pawn. It feels slightly scarier. Slightly scarier than just knight f7. Knight f7... The annoying thing is I haven't calculated it as much as the other line. It kind of looks good as well. King g7, I just take, they push. I can deal with that. I mean, if king g7, I've even got queen a1. I feel like knight f7 is actually good. Oh, I really don't want to play it, but I feel like I have to. I don't know why I'd play in a game. Nah, we'd have to play this. Okay, thank God, thank God. I didn't have enough time to calculate knight f7 properly. I couldn't work out if there was like some queen f6 or something. So I felt like this has more promise. So our queen is pinned. We're not in time to like set up some mate threat or something because they literally take with check. If we take and they take, take the bishop. Queen takes, knight takes, rook takes, bishop. I guess they can go rook b5. Oh, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Rook g8 forces king e7. Then what forcing moves do we have? What checks do we have? We still can't move the queen. We've got knight f5 check is one check. We've got d6 check is another check. Okay, rook g8, king e7, d6. If queen takes d6, then there's rook e8 check. Rook takes e8 and then queen takes d6, which looks very strong. So rook g8, king e7, d6. If they take with the king, then we go knight takes f7 and pick up the queen. So if we go rook g8, king e7, d6, and they go king e6. That's the only other legal move. And then we go rook e8 and pick up the queen. So annoyingly, I mean, I got the right move, but I did not see d6 in time. Wait. Rook check first and then d6. What am I talking about? Yeah, and then all those lines were working. Let me just double check because I feel like I'm hallucinating stuff. Yeah, that's all fine. That's all fine. Yeah, I think it works. Yeah, nice. Hey, that's good. We didn't mess up with knight takes f7 at the start, but we got a bit lucky because, yeah, serious counter over the deep one. Yeah, we're a pawn up, even 2 pawns up, so I can't count. I really can't count. But yeah, yeah. Oh, knight f5 is mating on queen takes d6. I mean, who cares? Wait. Yeah, no, I had rook e8. Is rook e8 good enough? Let's just double check. Yeah, rook e8 is still +3. I mean, okay, fine. We missed some checkmate. Yeah, also knight f5 is just a fork. Whatever. Nah, I should spot knight f5 as a fork. Hopefully I'd find it if I was forced to play it. Right, let's have a look at what chat is saying. Do I just have a random message from Anu Barata saying, I am very angry on you? What does this mean? Nice. Arav got the d6. Good stuff. Move 1 d6. Queen e6, knight f7. Interesting. Let's actually have a look. Izura? So it looks like rook g6 is the only move. 1 d6, queen e6. Knight f7. Queen f7, queen h6 wins. Unfortunately does not after queen g7. Ouch. I mean, this is the pain of attacking chess. So Anu Barata's angry for some reason? Yeah, we got there in the end. We'll take the W's. Let's keep it going. Okay. So still on the Karpov train. This time Belyavsky to beat Karpov. I feel like we've just done like multiple positions of Karpov losing. Such a joke. Okay, well, what's going on? So we got 2 rooks, knight, bishop, 2 rooks, knight, bishop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. What tension is there in the position? We've got pressure on the c5 bishop. They're defending it. Got pressure on f7. They've got pressure on our knight on f5. Our knight is supported by a bishop. Okay, any x-ray pressure? Maybe x-ray this way. X-ray supporting our pawn, pass pawn. Also got a pass pawn, but rook's well placed. X-ray onto our king. I love how we have no regulars in chat just because I'm streaming at a normal time instead of like 2 AM. Actually wild. Okay, what else is there to look at? I mean, I don't know how people play chess without bringing food to the board. Like, Genuinely cannot think when I'm hungry. Actually crazy. Uh right, so let's look at some checks. We've got rook takes f7. That's the only check. What captures do we have? Rook c5, rook f7, which we've already looked at. And then what about threats? I guess knight h6 comes with a threat of rook f7 mate. I also like the fact that knight h6 reveals the bishop so that there's more support for pushing. Yeah, okay, let's just start calculating then. So I want check rook f7. It would be wise for them to take us, otherwise we at the very least got knight h6, which looks like an improvement. So rook f7, king f7. Looks like we've got nothing here. I mean, they can even take this. Right, so what about captures? We've got rook takes c5. Let's say they just take us back. Have we changed anything about the resulting position? Can we now take on f7? Still no. Maybe rook c5 in conjunction with knight h6 could be interesting, but let's look at knight h6 first. So knight h6. How can we defend rook f7 mate? I feel like we've got several ways. They can play bishop e7. They can play knight d6. They can play king g7. So what if we start with rook c5 and play knight h6? Is there any difference? They can't play bishop e7. They can still play king g7. They can still play knight d6. But knight h6, at least we have this threat of like trying to push. Like for instance, if rook but rook c5, they also get behind the pawn. Looks good. We also have to be very careful that this is a check. Cannot miss this in our calculations. Oh. Don't know. I don't know. Okay, what other threats do we have except the knight h6? We've also got c7 immediately. What if they take? Also, knight h6, if they play king g7, we just take on f7. So knight h6, if they block like this, Then we just push the pawn. So why am I, what was I talking myself out of? I mean, knight h6 looks pretty good. Then we can just push the pawn. Why are we not just playing knight h6? Literally, what am I worried about? Knight h6 looks legit. If bishop takes, just king takes. Rook check. Can always go back to g1. Knight h6 is just strong. I don't know why I'm spending so long on it. It's just a strong move. So now c7 was my idea, but I'm realizing that it hangs the rook. I'm just too tired to work this stuff out. Oh god. What is going on? I'm so tempted just to sack, which is probably horrendous. Probably gives up any advantage I had. Even knight takes is somehow tempting, because that threatens to trade the knights. If the knight takes, then I can push. Somehow it makes some sense. And if they take my rook, then I take. And if they take, then I push, is my idea. I guess they can come all the way back, but then I can take. Somehow knight takes actually just works. Does it work? It looks like it works. Just works. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me how. What was my idea? Was it to push or was it to take? I don't remember anything anymore. I'm genuinely beyond caring. Like, it's actually crazy how optimal my conditions need to be able to string a continuation together. A little bit of hunger and it's just game over. It's like we're so done. I mean, just surely pushing the pawn is better. Just push the pawn. What am I looking at? Just seeing ghosts for no reason. I have no idea what this is. Yeah, knight 6, there's no salvation after this. And after bishop e7, just c7. Yeah, so I don't know why it was like taking me so long to refute these trash defenses. Do I play subs? Very rarely. Anibrata. I did not see your message, so I have to check for that. You can try message me again on Lichess. Zelda music is a vibe, I agree. How do people do on the puzzle though? Arav, let's not spread information about mods. Too early for girl advice, Arav. You need to wait for the degenerate stream times. Too hungry to care, unfortunately. I have no idea which lines you guys are saying, but I hope it went well. Let's solve one final one, and then I'll be free. Again, I know I didn't do the whole 64 minutes, but it's just too much. It's too much. Just too much. Okay, so white to play. We got queen, rook, knight, bishop against queen, rook, knight, bishop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Instinct is knight f7, king f7, rook c7. Is that not a loose bishop on b7? Looks really legit. I swear to God, if it's just knight f7, I mean, like, how can these be in the same category? It's such a badly written book. If knight f7 is just as simple as that. There's literally nothing to calculate there. Could be a red herring though. Although that's the funny thing, like in the introduction of this course, he like mentions how there's like red herrings, and in like some of the first 20 exercises, he puts a few red herrings, and then he just gives up. It just CBA. It's crazy. Actually insane. Best-selling book. And here I am, having solved 760 of these awful exercises. I genuinely can't wait to get onto CT Art 4.0. I think these maxing block exercises are actually goated. I can't see anything else except for knight f7. Let's really try hard. Queen rook bishop knight, queen rook bishop knight. We already counted. I forgot. Checks. Nothing. Captures. We've just got knight f7. Queen f6 is garbage. We've got some back rank issues potentially. X-ray pressure. What was the pressure on the board? Yeah, so I started looking at checks and captures before evaluating, which is stupid. Pressure on the knight. What am I calculating? It's literally just knight f7. It's literally just knight f7. Just play it. Literally no checks from them. There's no in-between moves. Just knight f7. Knight f7, king f7, rook c7. They can't block knight d7. It's pinned. Just go back, king g8, rook b7. It's so winning. Genuinely the worst tactics course in the world. Genuinely the worst tactics course in the world. How? And why is there so much analysis? G4. G4's weird ass move. Knight f7 is so obvious. Queen d4. Queen d6 is best. Okay, so maybe queen d4 is a decent try. Queen d6. That's very tricky. Game ended in a few moves. Wow, so much spice. Rook d1 is good enough here, keeping everything protected. Yeah, I don't know. Guys, I am done. I am done. I want to get my food. So this was a rough stream. Yeah, training is hard. I think about what Dubov said in an interview once, where when asked how much he trains chess as a chess professional, he said he either trains 8 hours a day or he trains 0. And it's because he said, like, when he's not in the mood to train, then it just goes in one ear and out the other. But the problem is that for him, he doesn't have to train this kind of stuff because he's done so much work as a child. Like, the tactical patterns are just so ingrained. Yeah, you can just do some puzzles before a tournament and that'd be good enough. But for me, it's like it really needs to be maintained. So I don't really get a choice to train when I'm in the mood to train. And yeah, if it came to like just training when I'm in the mood for this calculation, then I just never do it, right? So I'm glad that I'm here. I'm glad that I'm here training. And let's do one more. We're supposed to train 64 minutes. Let's just do one. That one was such a shit puzzle as well. Let's just do one more. Go queen, rook, bishop, and 5 pawns against queen, rook, knight, and 5 pawns. We have pressure on f3 from the queen and bishop. We have pressure on the knight on d4. We don't have back rank problems. Got X-ray onto d2 square, X-ray onto the king. They potentially have some rook c8 ideas. We've got X-ray onto the queens. Like, both ways. Right, so... This is Karpov to beat Yasser. Instinct to somehow bishop f3 looks good. Just because there might be like some like rook d2. That's the instinct. But now we can look at... what about loose pieces? Loose piece. Loose piece. Loose piece. Fine. So, checks captures frets. We got one check. What about captures? So we've got one capture, another capture, and what about frets? Maybe h4 is somewhat of a threat. This could be a threat. This could be a threat. So, okay, let's start with our checks. If we check, nothing. If we capture and they capture. Oh, we have queen takes b2. So I didn't even see this x-ray originally, which is annoying. Queen takes b2 is winning. So bishop f3 just wins then. Actually, that was a lot simpler than I thought. Because we're literally threatening a discovery, right? So they have no counter checks. It just completely wins. No chance. Yeah, that's the move I missed at first. I only saw rook d2, which wasn't useful. h4, at least it was a candidate, but a bit too slow, apparently. Bishop f3, queen f1. Wow, what a defense. But, okay, we've won a pawn, so that's already, like, not essential that we see it. Yeah, and this leaves the king too weak. So Yasser actually missed queen f1, but still it's completely winning. Okay, nice. We finished on a high, getting in one more rep, basically. Let's see what chat is saying. Bishop takes f3, definitely. Good job, Augusto. Yeah, queen b2. Exactly. Good spot, guys. Yeah, so not rook d2. I don't think rook d2 is the follow-up. But not rook d2, king e1, and white's actually better, right? You don't just get to take the knight. So, yeah. Glad that I spotted this. Good stuff. Okay, right guys, I'm gonna call it a day and see you on Monday. Oh, where will I be on Monday? I will either be at an airport or I might be in the sky, in which case I probably can't stream. So, yeah, next time you see me, I'll be commuting to Thailand. I literally can't wait to have a holiday. Feels like it's been a long while. So that's gonna be vibes. I'll keep up the streams anyway because we keep up the grind. And actually, I'm looking forward to a bit of extra time just to actually train some chess for myself because I feel like it's been a while since I've had the chance to properly train. And I look forward to meeting all my chess friends in Thailand as well, and turning up to the Red Knight Cafe. So yeah, it's gonna be vibes. And see you on Monday. Okay. Bye, guys.